Mario, I can't believe you defeated Noxdesius. How did you ever assemble the Nether Saber in time?
Oh, it wasn't that hard, really. I just put the tiny shield and the cross into the hill, and then I turned the damn thing on! I mean, seriously, Luigi, this isn't a Rubik's Cube! Seriously, Luigi, that's like the dumbest question ever. They said there's no such thing as a dumb question until Luigi asks it. Ladies and gentlemen and others, welcome to History of Super Mario Bros. Season 3. Season 3 surprisingly begins with a 2-minute minisode of Mr. Puzzler, played by Julian Petrozelli. Mr. Puzzler is a snob, and as a puzzle, to try and puzzle your way to solving the puzzle of why Richie Alvarez came up with the puzzling minisode of Mr. Puzzler. Mr. Intelligence, played by Richard Alvarez, tries to make small talk with him, but is easily offended by Mr. Puzzler, and storms off. Thankfully, young Elton John steps in to get on with the actual series of Super Mario Bros. Anyway, Season 3 continues with Wario trying to kill Mario with the Nether Saber. For some reason, it shuts off on him, allowing Mario to escape with his life. Wario finds the Truth Stone from the remains of Noxdesius. Extremely exhausted from the fight, Luigi, Ash, and Brock carry Mario back to the house to regain his strength. Meanwhile, Wario hears a voice telling him to look for someone named Nilrim to help him recharge the Nether Saber. Wario finds Nilrim and asks him to tell him everything. However, Nilrim says Wario has to do something for him first. As to what, Nilrim doesn't say right away. Link accidentally drinks way past expired milk and gets really sick. Mario tells Luigi the fact that Wario has the Nether Saber and the Truth Stone. On top of that, he probably still has his red lightsaber. However, Mario decides to listen to his iPod outside and dance. This seems rather careless, what with Wario likely on the prowl, but to his credit, he does do it in the open, instead of in the orchard, and he checks to see if the coast is clear. Or maybe to make sure no one's watching him dance. I don't know, really. But then he hears the same voice that spoke to Wario. Solid Snake, played by Julian Petrozelli, makes his introduction. Episode 33 is somewhat of a brief homage to Season 1, with the episode beginning at the mailbox. Solid Snake and Otacon, played by Brandon Dyer, have a codex scene like in the video games. Otacon gives the rundown on his new mission to help the Mario Brothers in their fight against Wario. Suddenly is interrupted by Jim Houseman, played by Richard Alvarez. It's amazing how many people Richie resembles. As I said in Season 1, he resembled Jason Marsden from Full House. Now he looks like Nick Bakay in that 70s show with that beard. He tries to issue his demands, but Snake is one step ahead of him with Mr. Snuggles' teddy bear. Meanwhile, Walgina starts her search for Waluigi. This season does give her a chance for a character to have some development compared to the other original characters like Johnny Cyclops. The next two episodes, Snake, like Link, learns he's like a fish out of water in our world. Speaking of Link, Link recovers much sooner than expected. But Link can't find anyone and goes off into the forest. Walgina confronts Wario to find Waluigi's whereabouts, but with no luck. Link thinks he's lost with Coconut keeping him company. Luigi confronts Mario regarding his rather odd behavior for matters on the enemy at large, i.e. Wario. Mario soon finds that he has Wario's lightsaber in his pocket. Later, Mario recalls what happened after Wario killed Noxdesius in last season. Mario realized something took control of him and made him aggressive. Even the orchard changed. During that time, he took Wario's red lightsaber and fought unlike his usual self. It gave Wario a run for his money, even with the Nether Saber. Mario returned to normal as well as the orchard, unaware of his temporary possession. Sort of like what happened to Yusuke Urameshi when he fought Sensui in Demon World. Usually special effects like these are saved for season finales, save for episode 31, so it's different in a good way. Also, this introduces Merlin, played by Richard Alvarez, and yes, this is the same Merlin from Richie's Arthur vs. the Druids vs. the Grail trilogy. Episode 36 had a deleted scene of Wario trying to recruit people. In the Season 3 trailer, people at first thought Wario was trying to tempt Ash to use the Nether Saber against Mario, but Richie and Chris felt that they had to briefly introduce the darkness before Act 1 of the movie. Now Link thinks he's been lost for weeks, but Ash tells him he's dreaming. Link wakes up from the dream, but sure enough...
Hey, woo, a coconut!
Episode 37, Mario goes to talk to Merlin. Merlin explains how the darkness in Noxdesius took on a life of its own. After the death of Noxdesius, it briefly took control of Mario and sapped his strength when he left Mario to take physical form. Hence why Mario was so exhausted when he got away from Wario. Darkness is played by Richard Alvarez. Episode 38 is the turning point in the season where Ash discovers Wario grown frustrated and discards the Nether Saber and storms off. Ash doesn't know what to make of it, so he finds Snake and Otacon for ideas. Mario encourages them to destroy it. Snake contacts McDonald Miller, played by Matt Provenzel, on how to destroy it. He says that to destroy it has to be taken to Merlin's table. Ash, Snake, and Otacon set off to...
To Merlin's table!
To Merlin's table! To Merlin's table! Let's go!
Meanwhile, Mario and Luigi try to find Walgina in order to find Waluigi so he could lead them to Wario. Link wanders, wondering why Coconut won't speak to him. Now Link is convinced that the dream he had was a vision and tries to realize its meaning. However, he is met by a strange man named Stephen Bauer, played by Dane Kevin Cook. Steven says that he was sent to assist Link to find the artifact, as it is called. Link agrees to look but is wary of his presence and search for it in the forest. Snake, Ash, and Otacon continue their search for Merlin's table. Meanwhile, Mario and Luigi think they see Walgina when it turns out to be a crazy fan.
We have fans?
Yes, Mario, you do. However, they are spotted and have a weird chase scene accompanied by music that I can't recognize. Dr. Heath, know what it is?
I love it. Chase music is one of our best riffs.
Okay, that didn't answer my question. Screw it. Anyway, they hide and do an homage to Lord of the Rings, which was Richie's early spoof on Lord of the Rings, in the exact same spot, no less. The crazy fan makes off with their hats, and Mario does the longest "no" cliche. Ash says that at the current rate, it'll take them 47 hours to get to Merlin's table. Otacon finds a way to fast forward time by cutting out.
Cut out! I'm not following you.
How are we supposed to cut out the next 47 hours?
Easy! We're the film editor do it!
Oh!
They enter Richie's actual room and at gunpoint demand he cut out the extra footage so they can be at Merlin's table already.
Yeah! That way we won't have to listen to Otacon ramble on about Cowboy Bebop anymore!
Snake, Ash, and Otacon should do this more often to anime producers to get rid of bad filler once and for all. Anyway, Richie cuts out the extra footage, and sure enough, they arrive. Snake places the nether saber in, but it reactivates it, and they quickly realize that it's a trap set up by Wario since he couldn't find the table himself. Wario reclaims the nether saber fully charged, and our heroes are screwed. As far as evil plans go, this is by far Wario's best plan ever. Mario and Luigi try and get their hats back from the crazy fangirl. UPS gives them the address, and they find her. "What can Brown do for you? Save your ass from Donkey Kong, thwart FedEx, and make a great understudy for you, and point you in the right direction, that's what." Link and Steven continue their search for the artifact. It becomes clear that Steven is working for the darkness. Coconut manages to inform Link, and Link kills him, and continues looking for the artifact. Mario and Luigi find the crazy fan. Yet, for some reason, in episode 40, she seemed like she couldn't keep her mouth closed, and then in 42, she turns into a smug little you-know-what. Okay, either she's a schizoid or a Gemini. They eventually find out it's Ash who bought their hats on eBay.
That bastard!
And they get them back. Episode 43 is the final turning point in the season. Waluigi has returned by the grace of Almighty God to aid the Mario Brothers to stop Wario. This is also when I came onto the project prior to Act 1. They needed me to shoot some scenes in episode 44 and 45. Waluigi and Walgina reunite, and he explains everything that happened since we last saw him in episode 29. They have a year's worth of training in a few hours, sort of like the hyperbolic time chamber in Dragon Ball Z. Episode 44 has one of the best fights in the whole series. Waluigi, Mario, and Luigi take Wario head-on. As everyone remembers, this episode was delayed for 3 weeks because of the enormity of Richie doing the lightsaber effects. Basically, to animate lightsaber effects, 30 frames make up 1 second. Times that by 60 and you got 1800 frames. Times that by 5 and it's 9,000.
It's over 9,000!
And that's just for one person's lightsaber. Now times that by 4 and it's 36,000 frames altogether. And at the time, it took a toll on Richie's body, and by the end, he was really exhausted. My mom's a nurse, and she saw one of his update videos at the time and felt concerned for his health. I checked his channel comments back then, and I was relieved to know that the fans understood, and a lot of the comments, mine included, either said, "Get some rest, take as much time as you need, you've got 170 odd videos under your belt, we're prepared to wait." And to the fans, I just want to say, thank you so much for being so understanding. Though in retrospect, I feel Richie kind of overdid it with the fake blood. It worked fine for Luigi and Waluigi. Since it was just for one episode, I can overlook it. After Mario and Luigi are beaten, episode 44 has the fight that really had to happen at some point. Wario and Waluigi have an awesome fight with lightsabers and fireballs. Minutes later, Mario and Luigi are back in the fight to help Waluigi, and they ultimately win with their combined strength. Wario learns that Mario is the chosen one, but that he is also the chosen one, and that he was confused and thought he had to be evil. Link finds the artifact, and it turns out to be fire flower? I suppose it could have been worse. Season 3 concludes with Merlin explaining to the viewers that this series is far from over, also why the nether saber's colors change, why Nox Decius' lightsaber's core was black, and how the fire flower came to our world. Snake, in a generous mood, decides to watch anime with Otacon. Gary Oak, played by Julian Petrozelli, makes his introduction in canon with the series, bugging Ash as usual. Brock is back from San Francisco. Mario talks to Merlin. Now, Merlin explains that he used the alias Nilrim so that he could convince Bowser to have Waluigi work with Wario. Merlin deactivated the nether saber, allowing Mario to survive, and for Waluigi to continue training to eventually train Mario and give Wario a revelation. He gives Mario a warning that the darkness is looming, but not to provoke it by going after it, and it will find them eventually. One half of the Chosen One will defeat the darkness. The other half will defeat the other. The other is unknown at this point. Link continues trying to find his way back to Mario to give him the Fire Flower. Coconut informs Link of a method to hide it from the enemy in the event of an emergency. Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi unite in a way that feels reminiscent of an Alexandre Dumas piece. And then the Darkness talks to his master about his plans. His master, Nox Decius, and Season 3 concludes. Of the 3 seasons, Season 3 was greatest in terms of the writing. The stakes were higher, more characters were introduced, and the choreography got better by the end of Season 3. The theme present in this is whether someone is born evil, or is it by choice. Whether or not if it was Richie's intention or not, it's evident in Wario and Darkness. The Darkness was created from the evils of Nox Decius. Nox Decius was once good until Merlin chose Arthur to be the chosen one back then, and became consumed by combined evils of pride, wrath, greed, and envy. Now Wario seems to be evil, but he was good deep down, and thought he had to be evil, what with being gripped by greed, envy, and wrath. Wario became very developed in this season. However, after 2 seasons of epic plotlines, Richie decided it was time to bring the show back to its Season 1 roots for the fans who missed the simplicity of the show. That's why next time I'll be analyzing Super Mario Bros. The movie Act 1.
We're gonna watch a ton! Like Trigun, and Cowboy Bebop, and Burst Angel, and Robotech, and Escaflowne, and Kenshin, and Gundam, and Yu Yu Hakusho, and Inuyasha, and Akira, and Ghost in the Shell, and Pokemon, and Dragon Ball Z, and Street Fighters, and Dragon Ball GT. Alright, we can watch Dragon Ball